Hey everybody, it's Greg Harrelson here, and I want to, just shed some light on the thought about hearing no. I think too many people get discouraged when they hear somebody say no. Maybe they're calling an online buyer lead, and you're trying to set an appointment, and they say no, I'm not interested. Or you're talking to a seller about potentially listing, and they say listing their property, and they say no, I'm not interested. When I'm observing real estate agents, I see real estate agents getting discouraged when they hear no. And what I want to do is say, we've got to stop this. We've got to get past the no. You see, no doesn't mean never. And I think that's what we get discouraged because we say, hey, just kind of curious. Are you, when do you plan on, would you like to take a look at the property tomorrow or maybe sometime on a Saturday? And they say, no, we don't really think so. And then in our minds, we get discouraged and make it mean that, oh, they're not really serious. They're never going to buy. And then when we get to that state of mind, when we believe no means never, then we don't ask again. And that's the key, is we don't ask again. See, no is a smokescreen. No is not never. Again, I say this a lot. If you think about going into a retail store and somebody walks up to you, a salesperson, says, hey, could I help you find something? And you say, no, I'm just looking. That's what we say. That's a smokescreen though, because the same people that say, no, I'm just looking, end up walking out of the retail store with a bag of clothes. That's what ends up happening. They end up purchasing something. So it might have been no when they stepped in the store, but it wasn't never. And we just have to remember that. So when we hear no in real estate sales, just think, no, not at this moment, but by the end of the conversation, possibly. So we just have to keep going is what we have to do. We have to just keep going. Now, what do I mean by keep going is say, if you're talking to somebody, say, hey, would you like to take a look at that this afternoon or maybe sometime tomorrow? And they say, no, we're not really sure if we're going to do anything, at this point. Okay, well, fantastic. I'm just kind of curious. I noticed that you called on or inquired on XYZ Street. What inspired you about that property to kind of reach out and gather more information? Well, this house, it really looks pretty. The pictures are nice. We know the area. And, right now we're not really sure if we're going to, if my spouse is going to change jobs. And if he does, then we're going to have to move. You see, no is not never. No is right now. They're saying no because there's some detail in their life, the changing of the jobs, that is not resolved yet. But when it gets resolved, it's going to happen. When it gets resolved, it's going to happen. So no doesn't mean never. Same thing with calling expireds. You call an expired, they say, no, I'm not selling. I decided to change my mind. I'm not going to sell. And then they go back on the market a week later. No is not never. So what we want to do is we want to keep going past the no. Ask an additional question. I actually have this, thought that I've trained my agents, and it's helped the agents get to 50 transactions, 100 transactions plus a year. And that is, ask 7 questions before you get off the phone. Now, that doesn't mean ask them to buy 7 times or ask them to sell 7 times. Just ask 7 questions like, hey, just kind of curious, what inspired you about even inquiring about this property in the first place? Or if you're talking to a potential seller, hey, I'm just kind of curious, what's inspired you about even thinking about making a move? And then when they answer, then ask a question about something that they gave you, some information that they gave you in the answer. And just keep asking questions. Get into conversation. The longer you can extend the conversation, the more likely you're going to set the appointment. Again, my name's Greg Harrelson. If there's anything I can do to assist you in increasing your production, please reach out to me. Here's my number right here on the screen. I have offices in Greenville, South Carolina, Spartanburg, Boiling Springs, Conway, South Carolina, Columbia, Charleston. We got a team in Wilmington and all throughout Myrtle Beach. If there's anything I can do for you, please just reach out to me. I'd love to talk with you and make a difference in your business. Bye.